if you're familiar with me, my content, and my business, you know that I'm very, very tapped into AI. My whole business is kind of built around AI right now, right? And one thing that I've observed in the last 6 to 12 months, I would say this year, but more so the last 6 months, is that we're getting to a point where not using AI and not learning about AI is just not an option anymore. And that's kind of what I wanted to touch on in this video, is that with the way that AI is moving, you not learning AI is just not it's just not an option anymore. You have to start to learn AI, you have to start to use AI. If we take a look at how AI has moved this year, just alone this year, the progress that has been made, it's insane. Compare the video, like the video creation and video generation that we have now compared to what we had at the beginning of the year, and it's a drastic difference. And if you also take some other stuff like the voice agents, the text, like everything about AI has just progressed so fast this year. And genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, if you're not learning AI, if you're not using AI, if you're not implementing it in every way you can, you are going to get left behind, because the pace at which this is moving is just unheard of. And if you think you can sit back and just kind of watch things unfold and still come out on top, I'm afraid to tell you that you are very wrong. Like that's just not going to happen. And if we take, for example, I really started to get into this whole AI thing back in like March, April. So I just had came back from Cape Town. I had met a bunch of people, connected, and I went back home and I was like, okay, now it's time to build. And while I wanted to start building more of my offer, my back end, all that stuff, I dove more into using AI. And I realized how powerful AI is when you use it correctly and when you use it to help you speed up things, and just it helps you move at such a quicker pace, right? So I started using AI more, and I just got into it so much that I was like, damn, I have to include this in every way that I can in what I'm doing right now. So I just kind of reshaped my whole offer and built it around AI, and just started implementing AI in all the people that I was working with and in my own systems and everything. And I just realized how powerful it is. And this curiosity and this kind of sense of staying ahead, or like staying at the forefront of what's happening with AI, has saved me so much time this year alone in like how much I've been able to progress, because AI can do so much for me, right? But that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is that if we take, for example, what I do appointment setting. I help people implement AI appointment setters. The rate at which AI appointment setting has moved from when I kind of found out about it in March, April, to right now in December of 2025 is insane. Like at the beginning of the year, it was kind of like this thing where it was like some people were kind of trying it out, some people were testing it, but it was very obvious that humans were still outperforming AI in almost all regards, right? Like there was nobody who was really going to implement it that hardly, that was going to like double down on AI and just use it across the board. If we're fast forwarding to December right now, there are a lot of people that are doing that. I have myself, for probably the last 6 months, only been using AI as like for appointment setting pretty much. And I was a little bit ahead of everyone else with it because I was using it for more and I was testing it out, whatever. But the thing I'm trying to tell you is like more and more people are moving into it, more and more people are looking into it. And the change in like just how efficient it is crazy. And the thing about this, why I bring this example up, is because since I'm very in this market and since I'm always looking at and studying it, I've noticed that a lot of people in the appointment setting space are very resistant to that. They don't want to use it. They kind of deny it. They just keep going about their day and keep focusing on appointment setting with humans. And this is something that is very spread out across a lot of markets and pretty much like society as a whole. There's this resistance to adapting. There's this resistance to using AI. And that resistance is very dangerous. And that resistance is the reason that some of you are going to go out of business, because you're just not willing to adapt to what the market is telling you to do, which is use AI. So if we take appointment setting, for example, I truly believe with the way the market is moving and how appointment setting specifically is moving, that in the next 6 to 12 months, maybe 18 months, the role of an appointment setter as a human is not going to exist anymore. You're not going to be able to be an appointment setter because nobody is going to use humans for it. And that is something that I think, if you look into it, is kind of obvious. Like it's a very obvious role to replace with AI. But people are still doubling down, and people are still teaching appointment setting, and people are still like doubling down on like appointment setting is this big thing, it's gonna be around forever. Just learn this skill and you're gonna have it for the rest of life and you're gonna be able to make money. And that's just not true. And this is something that I see across a lot of the market. And that's kind of what I want to touch on in this video, is the resistance in specifically the online business space towards AI is just it's gonna cook a lot of people. Like a lot of people are gonna go out of business because of it, and that's just the truth. Because AI doesn't care about what you think of it or if you want to implement it or not. And the fact is, I've been telling people this from the very start when I found out about this whole AI appointment center thing and when I really got into AI. I was speaking with people back in March, April about AI appointment setting, and they would tell me, no, AI is not, I like the human touch. Like, I still think the human touch is valuable. And that might have been valid then, but I told them right then and there, I'll probably have a screenshot of it, but I told them right then and there, like, you're going to get left behind. Simply, I told them that you're going to get left behind. This just doesn't, it's not going to hold up, because the human touch is going to lose its power once AI becomes more efficient, which is kind of where we're headed now. So if we take an AI appointment setting, for example, right now, I believe, even if you have the best appointment setter in the market, that take it over a long enough time frame and enough leads, AI, the most like basic, not the most basic, but AI appointment setters will outperform human appointment setters. Like, even if you have a really, really good appointment setter, an AI will outperform it just because of the output. Like, it can work 24/7. It works all year round. It never takes breaks. It never stops. It follows up. Like, it does all these things, right? And a human just can't compete with that. Even if you're the best appointment setter, even if you're great at sales, even if you're great at all these things, you know the offer really well, still, a decent AI appointment setter, just of the sheer output it can do, it's going to outcompete you. And that's just the truth. And people are not willing to realize that. Like, people are still doubling down on using appointment setters, using human appointment setters, and all these things, right? And they're like, no, AI is not at that point yet. I have a really good appointment setter. I don't need AI. Which, this might be true for now, but as I said, give it 6 to 12 months, and this is just the appointment setting as a human is just not that role, that job is not going to exist anymore. And that's just how it is. And like, all these people in the info space and like in business and society in general, they can think this way. Like, they can have this sense of like, I know that this is the truth. I know that my appointment setter is outperforming, AI at the moment, or I know that my content team is outperforming AI, or I know that my offer is outperforming AI in all these ways, right? And as I said, that might be true for now. And say it's true for the next 6 months, right? You're gonna keep winning against the people who are integrating AI for the next 6 months. But once that window closes and once AI gets as good and not better than what you as a human can produce, that 6 month window that you had of winning over them because they were implementing AI is going to close very quickly. Because the moment that they are on the same level of output, or the same level of, or once AI gets to the same level as a human can produce, essentially in business, that gap is going to be closed and you're never going to be able to catch up, because it's just going to compound, right? Because if they learn AI right now, when 6 months rolls around and you realize, okay, now AI has gone to the point where it's good enough where I have to start using it, otherwise I will just get outperformed, they will have a 6 month head start on learning about AI. And that 6 month head start will quickly turn into a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years head start, because you just can't catch up because of the nature of AI. Because AI works so efficiently that once you have a head start with AI, there's just no way for you to catch up, because it's going to compound at such an insane rate. And I believe this is something that we're going to start to see soon in the market, is that the people who have been using AI and implementing AI and doing all that stuff for the last 6 months, and that will do it for the coming 6 months, once the market realizes that the shift really has happened and they're like, oh shit, now I actually have to start implementing this. The people who started implementing AI 6 months ago will, 6 months in the future, have such a head start on the people that switch in 6 months that it's just not going to be able to, they're just not going to be able to close that gap. They're just not going to be able to get onto the same level, and they're simply just not going to be able to sustain their business as they're doing right now when they're not using AI. So I think, like, if you're in it to make money for the long haul, and if you really want to build something sustainable, you need to start building with AI as soon as possible. And like, people can say that the performance drops, or like they're not as good as humans at certain jobs, and like, people notice it's AI or whatever. Like, take whatever example you want, right? The thing is though, that what I'm trying to tell you is it doesn't really matter. Like, it just doesn't, because the market cares about AI, and the market is moving towards using AI, and AI is going to take over the market. And I think that's pretty evident if we look at how it's been moving and how the market has been just like, AI has just been this like flaming hot topic in the market, on social media, in business, on the news, everywhere, right? Like society is just like caught up in this AI thing, right? And the thing about the market is it doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your business. It doesn't care how good you are. The only thing the market cares about is moving forward. And ultimately, the market will always win. That's just in the nature of the market. The market is the masses. The market is the majority, which means that the majority is always going to come out on top. So if you don't adapt to what the market tells you to adapt to, you're going to get left behind. You're going to lose because the market will always win. So that's why I really want to like just urge people to start to take AI seriously. If you're not already, if you are, then great. You do have a head start. And I want you to realize that. I want you to be aware that if you're really diving deep into AI, if you're trying it out, if you're testing things, if you're using it, if you're implementing it, you are getting ahead right now. Because some people are simply just not, because either they have the resistance because they believe it interferes with what they're selling and their offer that they have right now, or they just really don't believe it's as good as humans, which might be true, as I said, for the time being. But if you're doing it right now, you do have a head start, and you should definitely keep on doing it. And it might seem like right now, this is the position I was in like 6 months ago, right? I started implementing it, and I really felt like, damn, this is not on par. Like, I don't know if I should be using this. But I doubled down, and now I can really see how valuable that is. Because now that is starting to pay off. Because now people are noticing that I, kind of know about this stuff, and like I know what I'm doing, and I have the experience. So now I can really start to build like that momentum of what I've been using AI for the past 6 months, and really start to push it into market and really get some traction on it. So if you're using AI, great. Keep using it. Use it in every way you can. Implement it in all the ways you can, right? And if you're not using AI, you really need to start, because otherwise you are going to lose. And that's just the fact of the matter. You're going to lose. And there's honestly nothing you can do about it if you don't start using AI. So that's basically the point of this video. Get on the AI hype train.